For those of you entering, please say present in the chat. All right, we're up to 40. We want to start on time.
I thought nostalgia was going to be, the teacher rolling out the Elmo or something. But now I'm pretty sure it's going to be the whole, put your name in the chat. Like the minute you hear that and watch this again 10 years in the future, that's gonna bring up some memories.
All right, guys. Even though here we go. We're short about 10 people. I'm going to go ahead and start. So for everybody, again, please put present in the chat. This is how we're taking attendance. And unless you've emailed me to say you're going to be absent and I know already, or in that case, you're going to call the school and let the school know your excused absence. You'll be marked absent if I can't download this. All right. You start, Jeff.
Oh, okay. Well, my name is Jeff Scoble. I am a brand new teacher. This is my first time teaching high school. I'm a legal professional. I've been a lawyer since 1996 and have always wanted to get into teaching. Taught a little bit of history at University of Texas, El Paso in 1991. Got to teach freshman history by some luck and accident. I was 21 at the time. I got to teach a class of over 400 18-year-olds. That was awesome.
I'm Hallie Wheelis. I'm Dean of Instruction at Amy Biehl. This is my, 20 some odd year in education. And I'm teaching econ this year. That's the short and sweet. Let me just start off by saying this. I realized we didn't go over, remove, no, I don't know who this person is. They're not coming in. 1 second. I got somebody trying to Zoom bum. Or not Zoom bum. I don't know who that person is. Remove. Okay. Goodbye.
Hello, I'm Burke Nelson. I'm a senior at Amy Biehl High School. It's about 4:30 in the morning. I'm drinking coffee from a mug labeled Top Dog with a pug on it, which is awesome.
You guys in passage went over the norms for your senior year. And so I didn't feel the need to go over that again. But I'm going to just go ahead and do this very quickly and address a couple of things. So let me share screen. And I don't want to go over all the norms because you already have. So I just posted this. Our learning objective today is students will be able to understand and discuss basic economic history. The norms, please write upon entry at all points, present in the chat box, or you're going to be marked absent. I'm not really going to go over the senior norm sheet, except for I wanted to address the fact that in the norm sheet, it says you should raise your hand and we'll call on you. We have too many kids to do that. So when we say, hey, somebody speak out, that's okay, or you can write in the chat. I know the norm is the hand raise, but I have 4 screens of kids.
Economics is the study of choices and specifically the study of how to allocate resources to meet specific problems.
It's just all about power. I want you to kind of think about this as like a survivor class. In the sense, you guys are going to exit into a world where you're going to have to negotiate power and understand what you're up against. And so it's not just turning in these 2 questions. The more you know, the better you're going to be able to address these issues of power in your lives. And you're going to be able to see it around you and people who manipulate power. Okay. people who obviously, like I will just from this morning's readings, they're knocking down the unemployment, right? And what's his name? Tesla. Who's that one? Musk. Elon Musk was complaining that we were going to give Americans $1,200 possibly again, and he's made $46 billion since this entire thing started. Okay, this is power and a differential. And the one thing I want you in the end to exit with is understanding and negotiating your way through all of this. Because in the end, a year from now, you're going to be exiting to an entire different world than I had to, all right, that Jeff had to. And we don't know what's coming, but I can tell you 33 million people don't have jobs right now. And so if you're going to go out and try to be part of the economic workplace in that way, that's who you're going up against. And so that's why everything we're teaching you now is only to benefit your survival in the future.
If I can't get a job after high school, I'm just going to move into my parents' basement. If I can get a job after high school, I'm also just going to move into my parents' basement. I'm moving into my parents' basement.
Money for college? Well, so that was a couple pennies. So, needless to say, I'm really banking on a scholarship at this point.
Being able to afford college, yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. There definitely are some limitations. There are a few schools that I've looked at that I've actually visited before. Like one of them is where my parents went to school. And like they're absolutely beautiful, and like I really would love to go to school there, but it's just not really an option right now.
Okay, can I pay for college? No. Can my parents pay for college? Also no. Do I want to go to college? I feel like it's required, so I'm going to say yes.
This, for me, is not just a wonderful opportunity to teach a bunch of great kids, but it's really, it feels cleansing to teach the economics class that I wish I had been taught. I learned economics in high school in Texas, very conservative Texas. I mean, that's kind of redundant, but where there were so many assumptions made and the goals were so limited and the perspectives were completely limited. So it's really something that we're proud of, that we can present you a wide range of perspectives and give you really what we feel is really important hands-on advice. And it's just a wonderful opportunity to interact with you guys and to have the chance to convey these important lessons that are life lessons. Hey, I want to pick up where Hallie just left off. This economics is all about power. And not too many kids in economics classes across the country actually hear that truth. We're talking about resource allocation, but power is about the actual allocation of those resources and what the real-time effects are.
To be honest, the economics class isn't really making me that excited to become an adult. I mean, you gotta pay all these taxes, and then you've got debt, and you got your credit score. It just sounds awful.
I wish they had told me everything we're telling you, like just straight up, like my experience with credit cards, retirement. My whole life would be different now if somebody had told me, you know, even if it's $50 a month right now and you're starting to put it away, that it's more meaningful. Because when you're 18 and you're in college, you're living paycheck to paycheck, you can't really see beyond that, right? And so it is a point of privilege to be like, you know, you got extra $50, put it aside. Like that's where I would have had 20 years of growth. You know, when Jeff showed that video the other day about that, oh, I did this at my age, because it's just like, it really slaps me in the face that nobody taught me this. Nobody taught credit scores. Nobody taught any of this on just basic financial things. But really, the more you understand all of this, the more powerful you will be.
Being an adult, I mean, God, you guys have to deal with all of that? I have to deal with that in like a year?
How am I feeling about becoming an adult? Actually, I'd say I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to be able to vote in the election this year, and that's cool. Yeah, I'd say I'm looking forward to it.
What are my senior year goals? Well, I have a few more months before I turn 18. And before then, I'd like to break the law a few times, just while the sentences are a little bit less severe. Party all night long, do really stupid things that I'm going to regret in a few years. Just live my life. I'm kidding. I can't really do any of that because of Corona. Definitely messed up my plan. Yeah. I'm kidding. I think just trying to be happy and being myself.
Goals for senior year. My goals for senior year. Pass V1s with an A. Because I have a GPA of like 4.0 something or something like that. And if that gets messed up because he convinced me to take his calculus class and I can't do it, I mean, part of that's on me. But at the same time...
So your homework assignment is due tonight, 11:59. Have it in on time, please. All right. Now, there's always a little bit of leeway. It's not late until I decide to grade. So literally, that's how I do it. So in other words, when I go in and I feel like grading now. Sometimes that may be in the afternoon of Saturday. I'll put in zeros, and that's how you'll know you missed the late. So it's a little bit of luck is involved, but the only sure way is to get it in by 11:59 tonight. And then, of course, tomorrow at 11:59, your take-home quiz on limits is due. Okay? Do you hear me? Take-home quiz on limits is due. Well, so my name is B1 Nelson, and this is my very second year teaching at Amy Biehl, but it's also my second year teaching in general. I pretty much knew that I wanted to be a teacher since I was in 8th grade. I mean, I knew I wanted to teach math. I also knew I wanted to work with the AP program, and we haven't gone there just yet, but certainly this calculus class here at Amy Biehl is the closest it comes to that. Do you see that? So the closer the point I choose to this point, the more the secant line will start to approach the slope of the tangent line. Do you see that? Yes? Is that clear? Joey's frantically typing. No, I'm just asking you to look at the relationship here. Notice when I choose a point closer and closer to the point, to this point in question here, the slope of the secant lines, as the points I choose to get closer, it's going to start mapping onto the tangent line. Calculus is really just very simply, it provides folks with a language that they can use to describe change. Any system that involves change will inevitably involve calculus. And so it provides us with a language to describe rates of change, the rate at which something changes. Yeah, it's my little puppy. Here, I'll show you. Okay. Hey, đi lại đây. Lại đây nè. So he wakes up with me at 4:30 in the morning, so he's sleeping at this hour. Okay, because he wakes up with me at 4:30 in the morning, so.
I mean, like, does Wong ever go to sleep? He seems to always be awake all the time. It's crazy. I'll email him at like 4 in the morning and I'll still get a response.
Do what you're supposed to do, and you will do well in my class. But you all knew that. That's why you're in here. Yes? Yes? Okay. All right. Okay. Well, so online teaching, it took getting used to, that's for sure. Because certainly I didn't like looking at myself when we first started this online school thing. Gotten used to it. It's great actually for classes where I have students who I've already known. Okay, it's terrible for getting to know students. And so here's a con. I feel like I live with my computer. I mean, I feel like I'm stuck on my computer all day, and that's not good. The other thing though is that I think the pro of it is that you are free from the distractions that occur in the classroom, the physically present. And so there's that. But I've been able to teach with rigor, and or at least, in most of my classes, and I really enjoy the interactions we have. It's just hard to reach out to people. But if the students are participating, it's still a wonderful experience. So because there was this attitude last year. It's funny, my first year of teaching, there was this weird attitude among freshmen and even some juniors. He can't fail all of us. Watch me. Anyways, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I shouldn't say such things, but I do anyway. So.
My thoughts on Wong. Well, you did save the best question for last. That is for sure. Well, let's start with some good things. He's really good at teaching. I actually think he teaches math really well, and makes it make sense. He's also available a lot for help, personally assist you, and he's really good at helping. Yeah, and he's always entertaining. But how to put this delicately? The man's favorite word is Schadenfreude.
My thoughts on Wong? Next question.
I've always wanted to be an author. That's what I want to be one day. I want to be an author of narrative history. And before everything happened, before I started teaching, I was in the midst of writing a biography of President Andrew Jackson. And once teaching started in general, not teaching online, just teaching in general, that project got derailed because I'm going through a licensure process. But hopefully once licensure is over, so it's licensure, not COVID, it's licensure that's actually interfering with that project. But hopefully I'll find time in the evenings again to write. And a good friend of mine is a distinguished historian and best-selling author, and he's my mentor for the project. And so hopefully, check out his book too. He has a new book coming out, and the one he wrote in 2016 is called The Apache Wars. Pick it up at your local bookstore if you still go, because I don't anymore. So that's my personal goal, and it has not been derailed by COVID at all. It's been derailed by other things, but I'll get back to it real soon.
My plans after graduation. Wait, you guys are serious? Oh. Well then. I'm looking at some schools in Washington and in Colorado. There are a few in Oregon too. Yeah, I don't know exactly where I'm gonna end up, but hopefully somewhere on the West Coast or in the mountains, where the cool things are, the cool people, where the wild things live. It's a good book.
What specific colleges? Well, I gotta tell you, I don't know. Last year, I wanted to go into the film industry. That's, film's my passion. It's what I wanted to do. And I thought that was for sure what I was gonna do. And so, I wanted to go to UNM or MSU. However, recently, that kind of completely changed, and that plan just, out the window. Because that's not the career path that I want to go into anymore. And so now, it's like back to square one.
And why on Tuesdays are they just trying to catch them unaware? I have so many questions, which reminds me of how I feel about the ACT right now. My daughters, I always tell them they don't know how good they have it. When I was a kid, we had 3 channels, and you had to wait till 8:30 or whatever to catch your show on Saturday morning. And my daughters just find all this stuff on Netflix, Hulu, YouTube. And a lot of the times I'm like, what the heck? It's so weird. And they found this show last year called Bananas in Pajamas. It's a cartoon, and these bananas that are wearing pajamas are chasing these teddy bears down a set of stairs. And the song says they try to catch them on Tuesday because the Bears are unaware. And I just have so many questions, like why are they wearing pajamas, and what are they going to do with the teddy bears after they catch them, and why on Tuesdays are the teddy bears unaware? So I told my students, that really reminded me of this year, because I just, every day, every week, every month, there's just more questions than answers about what this school year is going to look like. If you look under week 2, signing up for the ACT, SAT. All right, I am going to do my best to give you guys info, okay?
From what I understand, the ACT and the SAT are basically just like super long time tests, and then you take them and then you get a weird score, and then colleges look at them, and if your score is good, you have a higher chance of getting in, and if your score is bad, you have a lower chance of getting in. And it just shows that you're able to take a test and that you studied the things you were supposed to study in high school. I've been told it's not very fun.
Many schools, including UNM, have decided to go test optional for the class of 2021. However, taking these tests can only help you get into schools and get scholarships. That said, these tests are happening in person, so there are health risks involved.
How do I feel about taking the SAT and the ACT? Well, I should be studying for them because they're important for scholarships and everything like that. But I haven't.
Your homework is to talk this over with your parents and decide if in the next couple months you will be taking the ACT or the SAT.
My plans for the ACT and the SAT at the moment are non-existent. I know I should take the test, probably. I've been told to take the test. I know that if colleges, even if they're not requiring them, having the score will be like, oh, they took initiative, they took the test, very cool. I also know that scholarships are requiring the test scores, even if colleges aren't, which is really stupid. Anyway, I'm not in the mood to get sick right now. I don't want to put anyone else at risk of getting sick. Not that I'm sick, but if I were to get sick while taking the test, and then, I don't realize I'm sick because you're asymptomatic for 2 weeks, and get everyone else I interact with, mainly my family, sick, that would suck. You don't want to be responsible for that. For a test? No.
These students who tried to take the ACT test this weekend, it was a total fail. Okay? Some were canceled at the last second because it was deemed that it wasn't safe enough. Some rooms weren't ready for social distancing. I will let you guys read through this article, especially with your parents, okay?
My plans for the ACT, SAT, cheat.
Hello! My name is Mia Jesperson Chavez. ACT. Whew! Man, I studied a lot, actually. And it keeps getting canceled. I've signed up maybe 2 times. It's gotten canceled both times. So at this point, I think I'm just going to see if there's maybe like a steady 2 times where it doesn't get canceled. And I'll actually sign up again. So that's kind of where I'm at.
So people, this is a tough call. And I had to take, this summer I got my license to become a principal. And I've been quarantining like no other. I stole this from someone else, but me and my family, we were quarantining before it was popular. I'm happy to stay home. I'm not that, I go pick my groceries, I have my groceries delivered to me in my car. I don't need a lot of social interaction. So I had to go take my principal test in June, and it got rescheduled like 3 times. It was crazy. But finally I went in there, and I was not used to being in rooms with other people, and I had to wear my mask, and I sat 10 feet away. It was weird. It was a very weird experience.
I think a huge part of being an American, what it means to be an American, is to be optimistic. I think it is the defining trait of being an American. That's always been what has led to progress in this country. And it's when we are pessimistic that we regress. in the other direction.